Is that top chat or live chat?
Okay, well, let's see. I think we are live, and it is 11:10, almost 11:11. We'll get started right at 11:11. And there's a little bit of a delay. That's okay. All right. Very good. Well, it is 11:11 on Saturday morning. This is November 22nd, 2025. And this is another session of Questions for the Dragon. I'm Stephen the Channeler.
And this is Stephanie. Hello.
And Stephanie has her own microphone set up. It's all nice. We are here, and we seem to be live, and everything seems to be good. Anyone who's on the chat, if you could please post to us that, anything that's important to us, including whether or not the sound is good. And people are starting to gather. We'll do shout-outs in a moment, and while everyone's gathering, we'll go ahead and make some announcements. The first announcement, this is kind of exciting. We're going to be doing an intro to working with Dragon Energies, 1-day, 2-hour masterclass on the New Earth One network. That's Lauren GALEY'S network, if you're familiar with her. And so we are teaming up with them to do an intro to working with the Dragon Energies. It's sort of like a skimmer for our Dragon Energies Level 1 class. And in January, we are going to have an interview with Lauren GALEY. She's going to go live with us and talk to Jadon Se, and it's going to be fun. So that's exciting news. And let's see, our classes for December are steadily filling up. So if you want to get in on the December classes for Level 1, working with Dragon Energies, please sign up soon. We are taking sign-ups over on the Jadon Se website. So that's JADONSE.com website. You can find the class sign-ups there. So as everyone's gathering, let's see, any other announcements. Our Oracle Deck app is still available, and people are enjoying it. We've heard that many people feel Jadon Se's guidance throughout the day, so some of you are using it daily, which is beautiful. Let's see, sound has your voice spaced apart. I don't even know what that means. If you could be a little more specific about that. Is it broken, or it's echoing, you say? Okay. All right. There's an echo. All right. Well, I guess we will just go ahead and tackle the sound issue right now. I will be right back. Okay, now I'm back. Same microphone, but different interface. Hopefully that fixes it. Please let us know if the sound is better. Someone's saying it's good now. Okay, very good. Anyway, so the announcements were that, I know why there was an echo. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Okay, yeah, very good. So the rest of the announcement is our Oracle Deck app is still available, and people are enjoying it. So you can download that directly on the Google Play Store if you just do a search for Golden Dragon Oracle Deck. We do really appreciate it when you guys use these, because it's kind of like having Jadon Se in your pocket. You can, whatever's happening, you can get a card reading, and Jadon Se will come through in even audio if you prefer. Each card has a voice reading directly from Jadon Se, giving guidance for that card. And it's also available on iOS. For Apple, we're not on the Apple Store. In order to get it onto your Apple device, we have to push it directly to you. So again, go to jadonse.com for that, JADONSE.com, and in our little store section, there's a link to get the iOS version of the app. Okay, I think that's enough for announcements. We are excited to be teaming up with New Earth One Network with Lauren Galey. It's going to be fun. So if you one last thing, and that is, if you know anyone who has always had dragons in their life who isn't really tuning into us yet, that might be a really good way to give them sort of an intro into what we're all about, which would be following the link to the class. We're going to go ahead and post the link to the class in the chat at some point during this session, so that you guys can go over there. It's a 2-hour class, so it's like an abbreviated version of level 1. Okay, all right. Let's do shout outs. This is my favorite part. Let's feel everyone tuning in from all over, and we have Queensland, Australia. Beautiful. We have Tyrol, Austria. We have Florida in the house. Let's see, who else do we have? Okay, let's see. We have South Africa in the house. The cards are great, so yes, please let everyone know how you do it and how often you use the cards too. It's wonderful. Anatolia, Turkey is in the house. Berkeley, California in the house. Beautiful. Keep letting us know where you are. Holland is in the house. Los Angeles. We have Leuven, Belgium in the house. We have Camden, New Jersey. South Africa. Yes, do you guys feel you guys are all activating the dragon lines here? Amsterdam, Netherlands. Beautiful. Thailand is in the house. North Bend, Oregon. Hi, Mom. Stephanie, you want to say hi?
Yes, hello, Mom.
Very good. North Bend, Oregon in the house. Okay, you guys continue to check in here. Woodstock, Georgia. Beautiful. Right. Okay, well, we're going to get started, and, we'll continue to call out Groves, Texas, as you guys come in. So, beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and just drop in. Jadon Se will keep an eye on check-ins, so we'll still do shout-outs, but I'm going to drop into channel and see what Jadon Se has for us today. I am Jadon Se, Golden Dragon of the Third Arc of Consciousness, and this is a gathering of questions for the dragon. We are here every Saturday at 11:11 to connect with the tribe, so to speak, and see how we can be of service. We do a brief reading of the energies present, and then we'll respond to any questions or requests for guidance or deeper understanding. It is fine to post questions of a somewhat personal nature, so long as they are of interest to those gathered here. We are just joined by someone from Surrey, British Columbia, in your Canada. Beautiful. It is my honor and pleasure to be here for you today, dear ones. There is a special message coming through right now. There is, let us say, you are being divinely guided. We will not mention the name of the Archangel who is presiding over this gathering, but for those of you who are open to the energies and guidance of the Archangels, let us say there is one very prominent one joining us today and adding extra guidance, energy, blessings through this golden dragon. We work as a team, this Archangel and I, and we are going to, let's say, team up to bring you some extra blessing today. Even though this is questions for the dragon, there are underlying currents of energy coming through all of the guidance. And dear ones, the guidance that is coming through from both of us right now is this moment, dear ones, that you are in is magical. Many of you tuned into the guidance about the 11:20 opening, let us say, celestial alignments and energetic resonance that came through. It was like a checkpoint, like embarking on a flight, you might say, leaving from gate A1 or A12, A11. Let us say we are leaving from gate number A11, and embarking on a beautiful journey. And many of you are already in the air, so to speak. Whether you are on a jumbo jet or a giant's back, or being carried by the wings of angels, it is all beautiful. And dear ones, it is very important now to just relax into what is happening on your Gaia. Many of you have dropped heavy burdens. Most of you have dropped the most important heavinesses that you carried throughout the denser times, the darker times. And because you have enlightened yourselves, so to speak, this is a little pun. It is, you are not Buddhas yet, or maybe some of you are. We will not reveal anyone's secrets here. It is, let us just say that each of you has lightened your load, and you are on a beautiful journey now, greatly accelerated towards this golden age, and the dawn is truly rising, and it may seem like there is strife and discord and political infighting, and let us say that there is a little bit of a kerfluffle on this your world right now, and even some places experiencing chaos, what seems like very turbulent and perhaps even dangerous times for some of you. Dear ones, this is, let us just say, the last rumblings of the darkness. They are going kicking and screaming into this golden age. They do not wish to be pulled into the light, and so there are still attempts to divide and distract and delay the ascension and delay the golden age. There is still a lot going on. We might call it a period of unrest. Yes, dear ones, this is still happening. However, those of you who are paying attention, which is most of you, know that you are now above and beyond all of this. You are safely on your flight, and it is when the landing occurs, it will be landing in the full daylight of the golden age. Yes, dear ones, it is for you, dear ones, to hold this light, to hold this optimism, to hold this thankfulness, this gratitude for having come through the darkest of times on this planet, at least this time around. And it has been very, let us say, taxing and draining on some of you, and it is now for you to give yourselves a pat on the shoulder for making it through these times. It is beautiful that you are here with us. Yes, dear ones. And we have someone here from Cheyenne Mountain. I wonder if this is someone from the inside of the great bunker of Cheyenne Mountain. It is, let us hope it is even one of your political leaders tuning into the guidance from an archangel and a golden cosmic dragon. For these golden times are truly beginning, and because of this, it is for each of you to just lay down any of the guilt or shame or fear that you have carried. You have mostly done this. Let us clean up anything that is left. Maybe a little stain on your jeans or something from the darker times. Any doubts or fears. It is very important for each of you now to reframe your focus squarely on your purpose, your life purpose. Yes, dear ones, each of you has come for various reasons, and there are always more than one purpose. There is a grand purpose, you might say, and there are oftentimes secondary purposes, you might say, that all are in support of the one grand purpose. It is for you now, perhaps on this flight, to relax, put your seat back, and just drop into your heart and ask your higher, greater self, the angels, your guides, your masters, your dragons, your personal dragon, of course, please reveal to me more about my purpose. I am ready for this. I am ready to be of service to the ascension, to help this golden age really begin in earnest. And because of this, I am ready to bring my light, shine my light where appropriate, step into the spotlight, so to speak, share my wisdom, my particular gifts, my understandings. For, dear ones, it is needed right now. Each of you has gained, let us say, wisdom along the way that needs to be shared with others. Your awakenings can create awakenings in others, dear ones. This is your greatest gift. For when you awaken, it is like, it is almost as if there is a great hall of slumbering people, and you are one of the first to sit up and rub your eyes and wake up, and you can go around to everyone who is laying on this great floor and say, wake up, wake up. It is time to awaken. The golden age is here. It is time to realize. Those of you who are sleeping in fear and doubt and guilt and shame and making yourselves smaller because you are afraid of these times, or you think that outside influences are more powerful than your own inner being, your own heart, your own guidance. Wake these slumbering beings around you gently. Do not make it jarring, dear ones. Do not shake them awake. Just simply nudge them a little. It's time to wake up. It is time to understand that times are changing. We are entering into these beautiful times, and it will be only with more awakened beings that we can really begin to clean up all of the, let us say, the messes that have been left behind. It is time for a grand spring cleaning, so to speak, even though it is in your on your planet right now it is fall in one place, it is spring in another, is it not? Or the end of spring, the beginning of summer, for those of you down under. And it is beautiful and appropriate to be thinking of this metaphor of a spring cleaning, for there are definitely accretions of dust and gook, let us say, from the darker times that need to be cleaned up. We need to help our friends, the animals, and our beloved cetaceans and the oceans, and we need to clean up these messes that we have left, and our energetic messes. Yes, dear ones, those beings who are still fighting each other politically and disagreeing with each other over petty things that no longer matter quite as much. And it is for you to help to clean up these energies, to align those who are, let us say, casting their gaze into the pit, help them to look to the horizon, so to speak, just by saying, look at this beautiful light that is coming ahead, and they will stop looking down into the pit, hopefully, and start to see this dawn, this golden dawn, this beautiful, beautiful dawn, and the rosy-colored little fingers of clouds and all of the accoutrements of a beautiful sunrise. It is here, dear ones, and it is only for you to help those around you to notice this beautiful sunrise, so to speak. So embrace your life purpose, dear ones. Find out what it is that you have come for in greater detail, with a deeper feeling, insight, inspiration, enthusiasm. Yes, dear ones, pick apart any of these words, and there are gifts in all of them. Dear ones, it is a great honor to have you along for this journey with us. Even those of, especially those of you who listen to the recordings. Yes, thank you for those who are gathered here right now. And those listening to the recordings are gathering in your moment of now with everyone else here. Feel each other's energies. Let us now feel a wave of energies coming from those listening to the recording. Let us open up to feel this. Any of you listening to this, send a wave, and those gathered here will feel your hearts glow, will feel your presence, your love. Let us feel this. It is beautiful. There is energy coming. This is not from a future or these bifurcated timelines, all of these constructs of time. This is the moment of now of each who is tuning in to this beautiful understanding that we share. Dear ones, thank you very much on behalf of those of us up here in the second and third arcs of consciousness. Thank you for your beautiful work and service in this Gaia ascension. It is so beautiful and so needed, and it is mirrored around eternity. All of your work matters, dear ones. Even if you feel like you are just occupying space on this world and not really accomplishing much, dear ones, you could not be more mistaken. Your presence matters. Each one of you is of service, whether you know it or not. It is so important that you are here, and we thank you, dear ones, for being here. Very good. Now we will open up, and your dearest Stephanie will read a few questions, and we will respond.
Okay, I see. There are several ways of service like you do, Jadon Se. Why do we choose to incarnate on Earth and not other ways?
Our apologies. We are looking. We are trying to line up with which question it is here. Ah, very good. Hopefully this is. Is this? Yes. Now we are. She has read the question, and I will repeat it very quickly. There are several ways of service like you do, Jadon Se. Why do we choose to incarnate on this earth and not in other ways? Dear ones, each of you are of service in your own unique and special way. Many of you are not even fully aware of how you are of service. Your dear Stephen and Stephanie were just speaking the other day about a beloved clerk that works at the local grocery store. They are always going in through his line because they know that it will be an uplifting experience. Just he's an elderly man who is just very joyful and very encouraging and humorous, and he is always uplifting anyone who comes through his line. And dear ones, this man does not know, but he is uplifting everyone in that entire supermarket. His field that he is creating is of service in ways that he may not be aware of. He may be just thinking, well, this is just how I am. I'm an upbeat, positive person, and it would be boring to go through the day without making people smile and have humor, and it is just my way of getting through this beautiful day, and otherwise I would just be depressed that I'm working in a grocery store and whatnot. He might just think that it is his way of doing things. Dear ones, this beloved soul is being of service in ways that he cannot even fathom. When he cheers up even one person just a little bit who comes through his line, they then go out into the world a little happier, a little brighter, and then they in turn might smile at someone or have a sparkle in their eye that catches someone's notice, and it has a rippling effect like dominoes, dear ones. That one beloved, cherished man at this very seemingly normal supermarket is having an effect. The little wolf he's like, I think it is a squirrel outside, or perhaps a deer. He is trying to assert his mightiness in some way, and dearest Stephanie is going to let him out into our fenced yard to chase some squirrel up a tree or something, and it is beautiful. Dear ones, just know that whether you are conscious or not of your service and why you have chosen to incarnate on this beautiful earth, you are here for reasons. perhaps known and perhaps unknown, and each of you is making a difference. Any sort of positivity, any sort of love, any sort of optimism, and also bringing wisdom, pointing out things that need to be addressed. All of these matter, dear ones, and especially those who are amplifying these wisdoms with your heart. So if you see something that needs to be addressed, and you bring your heart into the equation, let us say that recently some whales have washed up on the shore, and great gatherings of beings have come to help try to bring these whales back into the ocean and to help untangle them from lines and things. And some of these efforts are successful and the whales are returned to the ocean, and some of them are tear jerkers, so to speak, where the whale does not make it, and they have to euthanize it so it does not suffer, and it can be so sad. And dear ones, all of these circumstances are opening hearts. Even when the poor whale does not make it, it is bringing heart-based awareness to something that needs to shift on this your Gaia. And this is why your whales choose to wash up on the shore to die sometimes. They are lovingly giving themselves, sacrificing their lives to open human hearts and to open doorways for greater things to come. And so it is not always obvious. What is the old saying? Eternity moves in mysterious ways, or the Lord, or whatever. You can substitute your word, the Tao. It is divinity moving in mysterious ways. And dear ones, you yourselves also can be mysterious at times and not fully understand all of the reasons and purposes why you are of service without even knowing it. Beautiful.
Yes. Okay, so there's a question. What is monad, and how to realize if I'm monad or if it is activated within me?
This question from a very mysterious sounding being named MKVM25 sounds a little bit like a droid or somebody, but I know that this is a human being. The monad, dear ones. It is instructive for you to look into your beautiful histories, cultural understandings of the tree of life. The tree of life is a beautiful way for those of you who are confused by this concept of the monad to understand what is meant by it. If you look at this beautiful tree of life, say it is expressed as a giant oak tree with roots reaching deep into the ground and branches reaching out in every direction, and a very stout and sturdy and thick trunk that may have beautiful twisted bark all the way up, and beautiful metaphors through this tree of life. For every leaf on this tree could symbolize a life, or even a group of lives if you wish. However, we will just simplify. We will say what you consider to be your presence here in the 3D or the 4D, wherever you stand at this moment. You may have this sense that I am an individual being, in the same way that a leaf on a beautiful tree of life is an individual leaf. And dear ones, think of this tree of life not just like a small oak tree, but one that is so tall it reaches up out of the atmosphere, and its trunk is as large as, say, your Devil's Tower in Wyoming. It is named that just because of silly stories. Do not be in fear that it is called this. It is like the ancient trunk of a giant tree. Now imagine this tree of life being many, many magnitudes larger, but it is okay. Gigantic tree with so many leaves they are beyond count. And you, dear ones, can see yourselves as an individual leaf on this tree, in this beautiful tree of life. And yes, dear ones, the nearby leaves on this branch could be seen as connected lifetimes. Do not worry about whether they are past lives or future lives. Just say, connected lifetimes. And you can very easily connect with the leaves that are on your branch, and it takes a little more effort to connect through the branch to a leaf on, say, another branch nearby, another connected lifetime. Dear ones, you can travel up and down the branches, down into the very trunk of this tree, the trunk that joins all of the leaves with all of the root systems. And you might think of the root systems as beautiful divine support and energies and connections with the unseen realms. Let us say unseen, being many of you say behind the veil. Let us just use this metaphor to say that the veil is what you would consider to be the ground that this tree is growing through and up and out of. And dear ones, even under the ground in your beautiful soils that are full of nutrients and water and beautiful life energies, there are unseen realms, and these roots travel into the unseen realms. And this is just a metaphor. It is useful, however, because the question is, what is the monad? If you use this metaphor of the tree of life, then the monad is like that mighty trunk, the tap root going through the trunk up into the greater branches of this beautiful tree of life. It is like the core of being of the entire tree is this monad, this trunk that upholds everything and connects everything. The highway of divine energies, like the sap flowing through the trees, and the beautiful taproot going down into the earth. It is like this. And how to realize if I am monad or if it's activated within me, dear ones. Does the tree need to realize that it has a trunk? Well, it can. It can certainly use the trunk to move energies around and connect understandings and beingness. And you can use this monad to connect with other aspects of yourself, either on this side of the veil or, so to speak, on the other side of the veil. Hopefully this helps you understand. Yes, you do have the ability to travel up and down these branches and trunks and root lines into various aspects of your own beingness, and the sap that joins you is like the very life force of divinity. I hope this is helpful.
Okay, I see Nazi is asking, is there a reason blessings are on Wednesday, like the energy of the day?
Dear one, you are tapping into different eddies and currents of energy beneath the offerings of this cosmic golden dragon. Indeed, dear one, this blessings from the dragon is indeed on your Wednesday, your Wednesday, your midday. Some people call this hump day. Hopefully this is not a naughty way of seeing things. We think of the hump of a camel more like you over the hump for the week, and it is beautiful for this midday of the week, for this is symbolic of let us say your middle being, your we could even tie this into the monad and say that this Wednesday is like your daily monad, or your weekly monad. You might say that the middle day through which all the weekly energies travel. And it is not that this week is necessarily a cycle or something like this. However, please know that we have very quite consciously spaced the appearances and guidance of this golden cosmic dragon coming through a channeled voice, so that too many days do not pass without access. And yes, dear one, there are deep symbolisms in your Wednesday. Delve into why these days of the week are named for their various things. You can go past the Roman influences into what you would call ancient or even pagan understandings. It is, let us not use the word pagan negatively. It is more like deeper, more primal understandings of humanity. And let us say that all of them have a reason. Each day of the week has a gift if you delve into it. This is a beautiful question, and Yes, dear ones, those of you with this sort of sensitivity, please cherish it. Understand that it is a great gift for you to be asking deep questions like these. More understandings will come through such questions.
Okay. I see Emily is asking, what are the animals feeling now with the current energies? I miss seeing the crows feed. Are they cocooning in a way and integrating the energies?
Dear ones, the animals are expressions of your beloved Gaia and expressions of the divine through your beloved Gaia. And there are so many layers. We could keep saying and keep going with this. Most of you are already keenly aware that messages can come from the divine through animals. And oftentimes animals behave in ways that are unlike the rest of their peers, you might say. One cat might start acting more like a dragon, or say a bird starts acting more like an angel, or something like this. Dear ones, this happens all the time. And those of you who are, again, sensitive to these energies will gain different understandings through the animals and the animal kingdoms. And, dear ones, you are also connected as an animal of Gaia, you might say. What does the word animal mean? It means to animate a form. It is a moving form of the divine, an animal. An animatron would be like a robot. An animal is beautiful understandings coming through eternity into an expressed form that is moving and animated, you might say. And you are in this category as well. And you are also beyond that category in levels of divinity that are scarcely understood. And so also the animals have this spectrum as well, and they are quite often more of a group consciousness or a group soul, you might say, a group purpose, and they work in concert, collectives more than individual behavior as humans seem to in this reality. And it is important to understand that when you see group behaviors changing, that this is an expression of the divine through Gaia and her animals. When you see great gatherings of ravens, of course ravens are mostly solitary animals, you might say, very wise, and there is a reason why many cultures say they are the messengers from each side of the veil. They carry messages, etc. They are very intelligent, far more intelligent than most humans understand. Your average crow has the intelligence of a 7-year-old human child and can solve just as many problems and can communicate just as effectively as a 7-year-old child. Yes, dear ones, crows have language. They can transmit information throughout generations as humans do, and your ravens are even more intelligent in many ways and deeper in their wisdom. And dear ones, when you see ravens gathering, it is fun that there is language for gatherings. You call it a gaggle of geese, and you call it a herd or whatever, and you call it a murder of crows. For when they get together, they are often prosecuting, let us say, their criminals. And yes, crows do murder other crows when there is a criminal who is well, we won't go too deep into this. They call them murders of crows, and they call them a congress of ravens. When ravens gather, your language says that is a congress of ravens. And dear ones, if you have ever seen ravens gather and felt into the energy exchanges, my goodness, it is a deep exchange. And Gaia is redistributing energies greatly when ravens gather, and let us say they are doing their own form of grid work and rebalancing imbalanced energies or responding to something that needs response by Gaia and by the divine. And oftentimes they are doing this in full awareness that a human may be watching this and tuning into it and getting something from it. Ravens very rarely come directly to a human with a message, and when they do, always, dear ones, pay attention to that message, feel into it. And even when they seem to be ignoring you, they are fully aware of you and your attention. Mm, the question is, I miss seeing crows that we feed. Dear ones, they are not cocooning. There are great gatherings happening all around your world right now. Your three-eye atlas has activated the dragon lines. We will call it Andronoff. Yes, three-eye atlas is so technical. We could call it third eye atlas. This is fun. Dear ones, there are energies shifting on this world right now that some of you are tuning into, and many of us here are working the dragon lines actively to understand more greatly these energies that are coming through these rivers from the stars, so to speak, directed by beings such as the ones associated with your Andronoff and other presences, most of them not visible to your eyes. There is a great gathering right now, and these energies are being lovingly directed, lovingly restored. Histories being restored, stories being repaired, you might say, and your animals are 100% in this game, you might say. They are gathering in great numbers, and many of the crows right now are, let us say, redistributing the stories of this world where they need to be, where it is appropriate. And, dear one, do not miss them too much. The crows will be back. They will return. And when they do, you will have, let us say, an opportunity to learn something from them. They may actually have messages for you, even if they do not approach you directly, and many of them will. They have messages for you.
Okay, so the next question is from University of Lisle. Can you talk about molecular geometry?
Dear ones, molecular geometry is only one of the many geometries that directly affects beings in this vibratory state that you call the third dimension and the fourth dimension. Even fifth dimensional beings are affected by geometries. And molecular, dear ones, as above, so below. There are geometries that you find all the way down to your quarks and bosons and all of these little so-called particles that your scientists have identified and given names to. And it is like when you give a name to a pet, it becomes something that you are enamored with. And so there are these scientists who are they are convinced that there are these particles, which is laughable in dragon realms. They are not particles, dear ones, but we will not argue with your scientists over particles and waves. However, there are patterns of energy, and those of you who are understanding the science or discipline of cymatics, you can look this up if you have not heard of cymatics. Cymatics spelled C-Y-M, cymatics. It is a study of the vibrational geometries of sound and other energies. Sound is just, let us say, one that is easy to work with at the level that you are. And when you delve into cymatics and you play a sound or a note upon the vibrating plate of metal, or even better yet, a vibration of liquid energy like a bowl of water with sound playing onto the bowl and light reflected on the water. The light codes coming from the water show very complex and amazing geometries. This question is about molecular geometries. We are just using this because it is as above, so below. And if you play these notes of water on, these notes onto the water, this bowl of water, and look at the light codes being reflected, you can see such complex energies that they are very clear geometries. And yes, dear ones, these geometries are actually encoded in your ancient stained glass windows of buildings that have stood longer than you are aware they have stood. And understandings that have come from mm, older golden ages, let us say, previous golden ages in your way of reckoning. Mm, these mm, these geometries are encoded in these stained glass windows and in the actual artwork and stonework of many of your ancient cathedrals and castles and stonework buildings. And these are encodings they are like time capsules to remind you of very powerful frequencies that you can use to heal, to restore, to move heavy objects, to do so many different things with sound technology. You can just look at the geometry and decode what vibrational note that is, so to speak, what sound frequency that is. That is very potent. And when you combine these different frequencies, they have an amplification effect on themselves. So you can decode these stained glass windows from your cathedrals to find sound technologies that have been otherwise hidden or quote unquote lost by humanity. The same thing is happening, dear ones, in your own beingness, your own molecular biology, you could say, your own molecules of your own body, in the molecules of stones, in the molecules of plants. These geometries are simply showing harmonics of vibrational states. They are complex geometries that have purpose, let us say, and when they work in harmony with each other, much like those notes we are saying are encoded on these cathedral walls, they work inside of beings and plants and animals and, yes, your own bodies to work in harmony, and they show up as geometries. And even your scientists who are in studying elements, the hydrogen and the oxygen, they will admit that the way that these so-called particles, these electrons and neutrons, and it is funny to think of little BBs swirling around. It's so basic but fun. And the vibrational state of a hydrogen atom, dear ones, is a geometry, and it shows more than you know. If you are to look at its pattern in new ways, not just trying to find snapshots in time, these little particles, if you are to see hydrogen in its full vibrational expression, you will see that there is beautiful information that comes through you by simply even gazing on this geometry. And molecular geometries interact with one another. We will go into later on how to work with your own Merkaba, this, let us say, tetrahedron, this double tetrahedron, inverted double tetrahedron of oppositionally spinning forces and geometries that are encoded in this this structure, let us call it. It is not a true structure. It is simply a vibrational state expressed as geometry. And we will go into what can be done with these geometries. Many of you are aware that your Merkaba can be used to travel, to teleport, to shapeshift, all of these different things. And it is your own vibrational state that is changing and being expressed in a geometry. More on that later.
Okay, I see there's a question from Marie. And it says, I'm learning about crystal technology. I'm curious that all I have learned thus far only indicates clear quartz. Why? What about other silicates? Are they applicable?
Dear one, the reason why quartz is usually the one that is the go-to for most people is that quartz has, let us say, properties that are designed to work with human consciousness. Yes, the other crystals all also work with human consciousness. Some are also similarly optimized, you might say. The Archangel who is present is giving, let us say there's a transmission coming through beneath these words that will help with your understanding of crystals. And the quartz crystals, dear ones, they work electrically with the beingness of a human consciousness. You may have heard of piezoelectric force. This is what is utilized for quartz crystals to use in computers and electronic systems, timekeeping systems, even wristwatches, dear ones, clocks. They are using the very predictable responses of piezoelectric response to quartz crystals flexing, and it is as above so below. If you put electricity into a quartz, it morphs and changes, it flexes the quartz crystal. And if you use physical pressure on a quartz crystal and then squeeze it, it creates electricity. And dear ones, because of this let us say reciprocal relationship that quartz crystals have with electrical impulses, it is optimized to work with human consciousness. In not only electrical impulses coming from your brain and your head structure and your heart magnetic resonance field, which is greatly more, let us say, pronounced than mental fields, your heart field, your heart resonance. All of this works with quartz, and in ways that you can encode and decode the quartz crystals themselves with intention, records, information. Dear ones, you are capable of doing this with water as well. You're capable of doing this not only with frozen water crystals, but liquid water. This is why we use water for so many spiritual ceremonies. And yes, dear one, you can use salt crystals, as we have alluded to in our salt ceremonies. You can even use sugar crystals. You can use any crystalline structure for different purposes. And let us say there was a question in one of our other questions for the dragon about why not use sugar crystals instead of salt crystals to encode our thoughts. Yes, dear ones, you can do this. They have different properties. Have you noticed, dear ones, that salt water is stable? It is stable. It does not get broken down and digested by fungi and bacteria. In fact, that is why salt has an antibacterial response. Let us say if your teeth hurt and then you wish to clean your gum line or whatever, salt water is most beneficial for this. Why? Because it is a stable and crystalline presence. And if you use sugar water for this, dear ones, yes, you can encode it with the intentions, and you are also feeding all these different organisms with the sugar. They will metabolize the sugar. It will break down. It is not stable. It will be, let us say, utilized by living beings in a different way, and because of that, it will not remain sugar water for very long. Any of you who keep hummingbird feeders know that you need to change the water out every once in a while. It gets this yeasty smell to it. It's and the hummingbirds will even get sick if you leave it too long. So that must be changed. This is because the sugar encodings are not meant to last. It is not stable. They can be used for specific purposes. Dear ones, use the salt and the sugar to encode intentions into your own body. Play with this. There are other crystals, yes, dear ones, many crystals, too many to mention now. Each have their own unique uses. Each is optimized for a different purpose, we might say. So, quartz is very well suited for purposes relating to human consciousness. I hope this helps.
I see Home Drawn Studios has a question. Jadon Se, serious question here. Is there entertainment in your realm like dragon comedian storytellers as there are human cartoonists like me on Gaia?
Dear one, this David who asked this question is a very talented artist. Hopefully he is sharing his art in some way with you all, for it is encoded with wisdom and understanding, and yes, humor and fun and any good comedian knows that the hidden magic in comedy is opening hearts, and very talented comedians will encode their comedy with actual wisdom and information. For when it comes through and makes you laugh, you open yourself up, you open your heart, and this allows the wisdom to come streaming in. Many of the comedians in this your world are very wise and advanced beings. Some of them are using these comedies for darkness as well, and so you must use your discernment when you open your centers up to them, your heart center, any of your, let us say, centers of beingness. Do not just open them up to any old comedian. If this humor is coming through that is tearing people down, is dark humor that is, let us say, judging and labeling people, making them smaller, do not open to these comedies, for you are just opening your gateways for darkness to come streaming in, judgmentalism and deep opinions that are harmful, and things like this can ride on those comedies. And when the comedian is bringing light and joy and beauty and love and upliftment, then yes, dear ones, this is beautiful to use comedy in this way. Your David uses his artwork in the same way. Look at his art if he is willing to share. He is very talented at this. And dear ones, every realm of eternity has some form of comedy and storytelling. It is beautiful to share wisdom through these means. Storytellers are the favorites of dragons, and every dragon is a storyteller, and every talented storyteller will betray dragon energies as they are telling their stories. Look into their eyes and you will see the eyes of a dragon. Yes, there is a dragon coming through every storyteller in some way, shape, or form. And yes, there are comedians. There is a lightness of being in the higher realms. We often play with each other. We even play practical jokes on each other. They are beautiful, loving, practical jokes. It is like when you see a little one, or maybe say two little ones on a bed, and their father comes and tickles them, and he has this trickster energy, but it is a loving trickster energy. He is tickling them to make them giggle, and they are opening their hearts and giggling, and there is this beautiful, it is almost like a glow comes into the entire room when children are being tickled and giggling. It is like there is light from the eternity that is flowing through the entire scene. It is like this, dear ones. We do this often. We tickle each other's energy in different ways that you would not fully grasp from where you are, for this is just a crude physical idea of these energy exchanges, but it is as above, so below, very prescient that a father, let's say a father and a mother in perfect love and harmony, both tickling two little ones on a bed, and all the giggles and all of the shining that is coming from them. Dear ones, this is what it is like on our level, this sort of comedy and entertainment, you might say. We are tickling each other energetically in different ways.
Somebody has a personal question about their silver dragon, and then there's one by Nazi. Okay, Crystal has a question about, can you please tell me about my dragon guide? He vibrates in silver.
Dear ones, each of you has a personal connection with your various dragons. Some of you have one dragon that is your bestie, so to speak, and with you often. And others like to call in several different dragons and work with various dragons for different reasons. And each dragon will appear in the most appropriate way for what you have called in. There is deep wisdom in this. Feel into it. If a dragon appears as a silver dragon to you, do not try to look up what the meaning is of a silver dragon. Feel into it. What does silver mean to you? And each of you will have a different resonance or relationship with even the concept of silver. And so, what does it mean to you? And you have said wisely that this dragon vibrates in silver. Yes, there is deeper wisdom here, for it is not just a color, it is not just a metallic association. It is not just an association with precious metals or whatever it is to you, or reflectivity of light. Perhaps silver is a more perfect reflector for a mirror, to not colorize the reflections coming through. Do you see that there are so many different aspects of silver that you can learn from and grow through? It is beautiful. Feel into excuse me. Feel into what this means to you. This little choking of Stephen is because he has, let us say, a friendship with the silver dragon, and it is trying to come through, and it would not be appropriate for his personal connection with any silver dragon to be your connection and to color it, so to speak, pun intended. It is for you to feel into what silver means. I hope this helps.
Okay, Nazi has 3 questions altogether. It's one question, but 3 separate. And so she is asking, I would like to share an understanding, and maybe you could expand on it. I have asked for the blessing of last gathering for a clear connection with the divine many times on my own. Is that okay? As I understood that I don't need a permission slip to receive such blessings. However, when I ask, I understand at a deeper level that mirrors don't just reflect, they amplify the message. And then there is as when an intention is expressed outwardly, it starts to echo.
Very good. Well, we will back up then and say, we are just doing this so that those of you can hopefully review. Hopefully this is not moving too much. The core of this question is whether you need to give yourself permission to receive a blessing. And that mirrors do not just reflect, they amplify. It is a beautiful understanding, as when an intention is expressed outwardly, it echoes inwardly. This is indeed the truth, and the reverse is true, that when you, let us say, when you hold an intention, what is the word intention? Intent. Look at this word, intent versus extent. To the extent that you intend something, do you not see the mirror there? And intention, it is like a holding within of purpose. And when you hold a purpose within, you are bringing it into what you might call the holy of holies of your inner beingness. It is something that is beautiful to intend. And yes, dear one, you do not need to give yourself permission. However, if you do not fully give yourself permission, then you're not fully intending. It is like a scattering of your coherence, let us say. When you give yourself permission, when you say, I have the ability to do this, or I have the right to intend this, or it is my divine right, or my, let us say, my birthright even, or something like this, that it is a core part of my being that I am able to do this, or it is appropriate for me to intend this. That is, let us say, getting closer to the core of a true intention. When you feel in your deepest resonance, in your deepest beingness, that it is appropriate for you to have something, or to intend it, or for you to bring it forth, let us say, into being. You have opened a very clear channel to a part of your being that is quite capable of bringing this forth, and was just waiting for you to ask even. And so, if you wish, then you can. If you wish, you can then intend this. And so, if you have understood correctly that there is a reflection, then you also understand correctly that what is being reflected also needs to be clear in the mirror, so to speak. If you are not clear with your intentions, aligned, so to speak, with the truth of your intentions, the appropriateness of your intentions, it will not be reflected cleanly in the outward as well. The light will be scattered, so to speak. It is like if you take the mirror and you breathe deeply on it and it gets fogged up by your breath or something. It is, well, we will not use breath. Breath is beautiful, and let us not pollute it that way. It is as if your mirror has something on it. It needs to be cleaned, so to speak. If you do not feel it is appropriate to intend something, it will not be reflected clearly in the external. I hope this has cleared up some of this.
Okay, I see Galvarino has a question. Greetings, Jadon Se. Is there such a thing as a cosmic ascended master? I've heard that Master Yeshua is now a cosmic master named Lord Sananda.
Dear ones, if you understood the true energetic of beingness, you would know that all masters, in some way or another, are connecting with the greater aspect of beingness, and this is why they are referred to as masters, for they have understood to the point of realization. Understanding comes from say a mental grasp on something, or a mental alignment with some truth. Realization is when you embody it, when it becomes real in its fullness of being, so to speak. And a realized master is an ascended master, for realizing anything is ascension. It is bringing it into your greater fullness of being. And Master Yeshua, amongst other masters, that you differentiate between them. For the reason it is a differentiation between, say, the Buddha and Master Yeshua, or Gautama Buddha. There are several Buddhas, but the most famous, Gautama Buddha, and your Master Yeshua. The reason why they are not one and the same being is that each of you resonate, or have a relationship that is slightly different with these beingnesses, so to speak. It is not because they are different from each other, it is because you perceive them as different. There is something you can delve into from this understanding, and hopefully it will become a realization that masters appear to you in their current form or beingness to better interface with you from where you stand, to better interact with you and relate to you and relay wisdom to you and from you even. And it is very important to understand that the deeper you understand a master, a given master, that master will extend into greater levels of beingness, the greater realities, let us say. And your Master Yeshua extends to the very top, you might say. It is not up and down or sideways or whatever. Language fails here. Your Master Yeshua spans the arcs of consciousness, all of them. Yes, dear ones, you can refer to different aspects of your Master Yeshua, maybe standing on earth in his robes and sandals as one aspect, maybe interacting with the angels in the second arc of consciousness as a, you might call that your Sananda. And it is for you to call him different names from your own way of understanding his beingness. So it is not that he is a different lord or master or above or below. It is that you have different ways of relating to this master. And when you relate to this master in the higher arcs of consciousness, they are not higher or lower. It is, we're just using this as a term. Let us say the arcs of consciousness that are closer to the prime creator from your way of seeing. This is maybe your master Yeshua and maybe your master Sananda. You can use him to be the Lord of the world or the Lord of the cosmos, and they are both true, dear one.
Okay, I see there's another question from Leslie Lightquesta. Leslie Lightquesta has a question. Dear Jadon Se, is it appropriate now to live in feelings instead of words?
Dear ones, yet another question that is very prescient. This is a beautiful word, prescient. Scient meaning to become deeply aware, and prescient meaning it precedes a greater understanding, and it is very timely. It is a very good question, for it has always been appropriate to live in your feelings, of course. And is it even now more appropriate or somewhat more timely for us to live in feelings and to understand transmissions of wisdom without words even, to hear the words behind the words, the question behind the question, the understanding that holds up the understanding. The word understanding is a clue there, to understand, to be a foundation to hold up an understanding. It is yes, dear one, yes and yes and yes. Oftentimes this golden cosmic dragon will say, beneath my words there is an energetic flow. There is a blessing that is carried beneath the surface, so to speak. The words may be here to occupy the mind at a certain level, to engage you in a certain mental understanding, and not instead of, but and there is underneath these words another flow of energy. And yes, dear ones, even beneath that flow of energy there is another flow of energy. You are all multidimensional beings, and as such you achieve understandings from your way of seeing things. It is not an achievement, it's simply an alignment and a harmonization of understandings, let us say. You take in and realize deeper understandings by transcending words, and at the same time the words can be useful to occupy one's mind and mental faculties, to align your mental abilities with what is happening beneath the surface, so to speak. So it is not an either or. You do not need to throw out the words in order to get the deeper feelings. This wise being is saying, is it appropriate for us now to explore more deeply these feelings, to feel into these wisdoms that are being transferred, transmitted, equalized, rebalanced, so to speak? Yes, dear ones, yes and yes and yes. This golden dragon so often says, feel into it. What is feeling into something? Is that a verb? Are we taking our feelings and making them an action? Well, from a certain standpoint, yes. You are... this dog's feelings are expanding into the yard. You are feeling into a situation. You are, let us say, expanding your awareness into realms of feeling. And as you do this, you're getting a clearer more complete picture, so to speak, of what is happening. This is the process of realization when a mental understanding becomes felt by the greater beingness and brought into a greater reality, the fullness of being. Yes, feelings are part of that. Not even the feelings themselves do not complete it. It is simply an energetic exchange.
Okay, I see. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Question: could it be that your higher self of one of us? Could you be that? Could you read that, honey?
I believe his name is Hadar.
Hey,
And
oh,
and
Hagar. Okay.
yes, could it be that you are higher self of one of us, the higher self of one of us? Again, dear ones, those gathered here are starting to really show their wisdom in their questions, and this is a wise question. Now, you could say this to the cosmic golden dragon. You could say this to any one of you gathered, and all of you gathered at once. Are you my higher self? You could even say this to an ant or a squirrel or a cloud in the sky. Are you my higher self? And as you do this, dear ones, something is shifting inside of you. Do you feel when you ask the question, just look at a house plant if you have one nearby and ask it, are you my higher self? Are you part of my higher self? Are you an expression of my higher self? And as you ask this plant this question, do you not feel a new connection with that plant that wasn't there before, or at least you were not aware of it? You did not feel it. There is this new connection that you are making with that houseplant, and it might be best expressed in just the word hi or hello. You might not even need to speak. It is simply a connecting. And when you connect in this way and you let your higher self express through this plant that you are connecting with, what is happening within you? What magical experience are you having? You are growing. Your sense of self is transforming. Your sense of self is expanding, dear ones. And as it expands, there is always a gift in that expansion. The gift of that plant. There will come through that plant some awareness, some knowingness that you did not have before you made that connection. Play with this, dear ones. This question is very wise. Yes, indeed. This golden cosmic dragon is your higher self speaking through the agency of a cosmic golden dragon. Put that in your pipe and smoke it and see what happens.
Okay, Michael Petronella. Since we are transforming to be fully crystalline, what is the meaning of and biological aspect of being fully crystalline beings?
Yes, dear ones, this is an understanding that is dawning on humanity right now, that the very structure of your body, your presence here, is shifting. As the light shifts, as the energy shifts, your human template, your human presence is responding to the shifts in energy in new ways. And yes, this could be expressed as saying you are becoming less carbon-based and more crystalline. What does this mean? This means that your presence, as we said earlier when we were speaking about why quartz crystals, and why do people always speak of and refer to quartz crystals above any other, it is because that crystalline presence, that quartz energy is, let us say, very compatible with your understanding and beingness and presence. And the same way your body, dear ones, is becoming optimized to be more, let us say, compatible with your awareness. your presence, your beingness, your vibratory nature, your vibratory state of being. And so, therefore, your human form is further optimizing to your new understandings, the new light that is shining through you, the new energies that are passing through your beingness. And many wise ones have always said, and oftentimes said, all is vibration, frequency, and resonance. This can be said of your body as well. Your body is resonating better with the crystalline structure in these times, and with the consciousness that you carry, that is dawning upon you. There are deeper understandings, and even your materialistic science, you might say, understands that there are different things that happen in response to vibrational realities. Your science calls this epigenetics. Not that your genes are static beings, let us say. Your genes are not just there, just like a record that is frozen in time, that is just informing your body and expressing as your body. No, there is an epigenetic response. Your genes respond to new energies. Your genes activate in certain circumstances aspects of their beingness that are appropriate for those circumstances. And so your body activations are changing. Your genes are expressing more crystalline attributes of beingness. This is just simply a materialistic way of seeing things. Genetics are more like the earlier question of vibrational states and feelings rather than just static form. So, yes, dear ones, yes and yes and yes. Enjoy your more crystalline beingness and use the gifts that come with this to work better with your crystalline, your Gaia's crystalline grid, you might say, the dragon lines, energies in rocks and energies in crystals, energies in water. Yes, dear ones, especially when it is snowing and there are crystals falling from the sky. You have new abilities that are coming, ways of interfacing with the very wind around you, with the very flows of energy. Play with your new bodies, dear ones. They are beautiful.
Okay. And maybe the last question is from Marie. Will you please share the difference between coherence and alignment? Could coherence be a more innate state of being?
Dear ones, this is another very timely question. Coherence versus alignment. What is the relationship, or is there a difference between them? Yes and yes. There is a difference and there is a great relationship. So, coherence is alignment, let us say different levels of alignment. When you speak of alignment, there is oftentimes a feeling of geometrical alignment, let us say, geometries coming into alignment, or energy patterns coming into sort of a resonance of alignment. And if you look at your cymatics again, we encourage each of you who is not familiar with cymatics, CYMA, and cymatics. If you are not familiar with this, look into it, delve into it, for there is great wisdom in when vibration hits the surface of the water and then the light is reflected on the water that is vibrating. These beautiful geometric patterns appear, and this is because of different states of coherence. So, yes, the light is hitting the water and it is aligning with the structure of the water, and this alignment is cohering the light into the geometries that you are seeing in your cymatic scope, so to speak. And so, if you think of alignment as being more like, say, a corridor, like a hallway, where forces are going up and down this hallway, they are not going through the directions where the walls are, for they are guided by the walls up and down this corridor. Think of it as a long corridor, and think of a whole bunch of beings walking through this corridor. If these beings are in alignment of the corridor, they can still be incoherent. You can have two beings collide with each other. One of them is sprinting one way up the corridor, and the other darts to the left or the right at the wrong time, and they collide, and they ouch, and they fall on the ground, and they have to dust themselves up, and then apologize, and then continue down the corridor in their chosen direction. And so this is alignment without coherence. Do you see this? Now imagine a whole group of people all moving at the same speed in the same direction down that corridor. They are all, let us say this corridor is an exit for a stadium, and the show is over, and everybody wants to make an orderly exit from the stadium and get to their cars or wherever and get home easily. And it is best for them all to walk the same speed in the same direction, and then they most efficiently empty the stadium. This is coherence within the alignment of the corridor. So you can see, you could also call this a greater alignment. They are aligning their speed and directions. So there is a deep relationship. The concept of coherence is when all of these energies work in union and unison together for the orderly exit of the stadium, you might say, in this instance. It is both. Yes, yes, and yes. There are deeper levels of alignment. This is enough for now. This has been a very beautiful gathering, and that shall be the last question today. And thanks to Stephanie for helping guide this whole process to bring coherence to these questions. And thank you for being here. Let us now have fun with shouting out where we are right now, in this moment of now, where you are upon this world. And we will also listen for those shouting this out from future recordings. We will feel them energetically. Shout out where you are from in your moment of now. On this your Gaia. We love to call these out, for it brings a connection that is beautiful, and it brings a coherence, yes, of the energies that are moving. Thank you very much. We are in Utah. We are in Chile right now. Shout it out. Where are you? North Bend, Oregon. Thanks for joining us, Mom. Florida, Holland. You are in Colorado. We are in Colorado. Berkeley, California. We are in Tyrol, Austria. The Alps. Yes, shout it out. Where are you in your moment of now? Texas, Queensland, Australia, South Africa, Massachusetts. This is beautiful energy coming through. Feel this, dear ones, and feel those who are listening on the recording shouting out where they are in their moment of now. We can feel it coming through. Yes, we are feeling one who is shouting out from Brazil on the recording. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Very good. Chile, once again. Yes. Do you feel this, dear ones? Are any of you feeling energies coming through the recordings? Anatolia, Turkey. If you feel someone coming through from a recording, shout them out for us. This is beautiful. Yes, we are feeling France coming through. We usually do not get France, and we are feeling someone who listens to the recording in your Paris region, near Paris, outside of Paris. Groves, Texas. Dear ones, this is another of your abilities that are coming online. Feel into this. Feel into these gatherings. South Africa. Yes, dear ones. Thank you all for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again in your moment of now, for we are having our last class of the first level 1 will be tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing those of you in that class. And again, the second wave of level 1 classes working with dragon energies begins on December 7th We had erroneously said it was the 6th earlier. It was a misreading of your strange time calendars, and it is starting on December 7th. So please do join us there if you did not join us for the first class. Many of you are working with these energies. Your understandings are coming through these questions indeed. Yes, there is someone here from France, or feeling France. Maybe perhaps your David was feeling as this dragon was announcing. Perhaps there was an alignment there. Long Beach, California. Beautiful. Yes, Colorado. Let us just say goodbye for now. We look forward to those of you who are joining in your tomorrow, and we look forward to those of you who will be joining us for the next class on the 7th. And between now and then, there will be your beautiful Thanksgiving celebration, and there will be so many gatherings. Share your energies, dear ones, with others. Share your wisdom, your understandings. Switzerland, yes, dear ones. Very good. We are feeling all of these energies coming through. So if you are listening to the recording and you are in your moment of now in Switzerland, you are heard here. France as well. Very good.